if I could tell you that there is a way that you can get into a home in this market paying about 40% less of an interest payment than the average interest rate's been over the last 50 years? That'd be phenomenal, right? Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Russell Bly. My wife, Patricia, and I are full-time realtors here with RE/MAX Champions in the Land O'Lakes, Florida area. We service Hillsborough, Pinellas, Pasco, Polk, Citrus, Hernando counties. And one of the things that is exciting about us is being able to help people get into a home. Well, one of the things we hear a lot is, oh my gosh, the interest rates are so high. You know, right now they're averaging about 4.7%. And we talk to folks all the time that are saying, we're waiting for interest rates to go down. Well, let me tell you something. A lot of the people that we talk to don't have the experience or the benefit of age that myself and Patricia have. Now, I'm not going to volunteer her age, but I've been floating around the Tampa Bay area all my life, which has been about 61 years. And I can tell you this, mortgage rates are a lot lower now than I have definitely seen. 1981, the year after I graduated from Jesuit here in Tampa, mortgage rates were 18.6%. 1983, when my wife Patsy and I got married, we paid 16% for our mortgage. And we were happy just to be able to get into a house, because here's what we recognized. We were buying that house. In essence, we were marrying that house, but we were only dating that mortgage. We knew that we could refinance if and when the rates went down. Now, it took a long time for those rates to go down. See, at the beginning of this, I mentioned, how about if you can get a mortgage for about 40% of what the average mortgage rate has been over the last 50 years? Well, that's today what you can do. See, the average mortgage rate since the year 1971, it's been hovering around 7.75%. So if you can get a mortgage at 4.7%, I mean, that's 40% less. That's almost half of what the average mortgage rate was. So are you going to sit around and wait for the mortgage rates to go back to normal, which would be what? Maybe average over the last 50 years? You're talking about paying 2%, 3% more in a mortgage rate than you could be paying today. So understand right now where we are. We just heard the new inflation numbers. Inflation's only up by 5%. Oh, what a bonus. Well, guess what? If you're a builder and you're building a home, the cost of everything in that home is going up by at least 5%. In fact, in the Tampa Bay area, prices of houses have been still rising, even though you can get on the internet and see these stories. And of course, if they're on the internet, they have to be true, right? Oh, the housing market's collapsing, prices are going down. Folks, prices have been going up by about 6% still. Now, that's not up to the 18 to 21, 23% that was happening during COVID, but nevertheless, the price of that house is going up. So here's the key. If you're looking for a home, well, get with us, get with one of the mortgage lenders that are out there, get with your realtor, get with Motto Mortgage, our in-house lending company, or one of your other lending officers, and find out if you could qualify for a mortgage today, because here's what we know. You're going to look like a genius one way or the other for getting into your house before prices go up anymore. Because if mortgage rates go up, and you're locked in at that 4.7, 4.8, 4.6% mortgage, and we get back to normal, which is 7.5%, 8%, you're going to feel like a genius. Wow, I got in at this mortgage at a pretty darn good time. I'm paying less than 5%. Or maybe mortgage rates go back down to that 3.5%, 3.25%. You can always refinance and say, you know what? I feel like a genius. I got my house before prices went up another 6% a year for 3 years. When you compound that, that's about 20% more for a home. And you got into it for a great mortgage rate at around 4.7, 4.8%. And your home's worth so much more. You could refinance, you could hang on to it, you could do what you want, but you have options. Now, one of the last things I'm going to throw at you, if you've been waiting around for a house, one of the statistics that we're hearing is by the year 2030, about 40% of the houses, single-family homes, are going to be owned by real estate investment trusts and by large brokers of houses that are buying these houses to rent the houses. Now, I'm not going to get into this you'll own nothing and be happy mantra, but we know that real estate is a solid investment for a lot of people. And a lot of folks have money invested in real estate investment trusts. The big folks like BlackRock are definitely funding house acquisitions. But just think of what's going to happen to housing prices in the next 5 or 10 years if this continues and 40 or 50% of the houses are off the market because they're owned by these real estate investment trusts or they're owned by these investment companies. Now, couple that with prices that are going up each and every year, along with a Federal Reserve that is trying to raise interest rates to stop that rate of progression. Well, one out of two things is going to happen. Either the Fed is going to get a hold of inflation and those inflationary numbers are not going to go up and the cost of building a house may stabilize, but they're going to do that at the expense of raising interest rates. But if they don't raise interest rates or they cut interest rates, inflation's going to go up and the cost of building that home is going to be higher. So here's what I'm saying. You may never be in a better time to purchase that home. And right now, if you're a first-time home buyer, understand that you are ahead of the traditional curve. You're a lot better off than folks have been over the last 50 years on average. So I wanted to share that information with you. Make sure that you're not subscribing to all the hype. And if you're ready to get into a home where you have a little bit more control of what's going on in your life, where you don't have to worry about the rent being raised and raised and raised, the time to buy a home is now. The time to get a mortgage is now. All right? Reach out. Get with your local lending professional. Get with your real estate agent and make sure that you get tied up and get into a home now when you can get it at about 40% of what the traditional average for mortgage rates have been for Americans. Hey, thanks for watching. And remember, click that like button below if you like what you heard.